Hello, friends, followers, devotees, and all the members of my chaotic fox family. Alright, after a few issues, we finally got this figured out. So, welcome to my cozy little den. My name is Caden, the Fox King, and we are here to howl into the void. We were going to have some Final Fantasy XIV while we had our subject tonight, but well, today, honestly. But encoders, streaming, everything seems a bit iffy, so today we'll just be going with a static image, unfortunately.
Alright, after a few issues, we finally got this figured out. So, welcome to my cozy little den. My name is Caden.
Sorry, I'm also live tracking this on my phone, so you'll have to just forgive me. Most of you are my friends anyways, you know me, you know how weird I can get. So, today's topic is the mire of MMOs. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've noticed lately that massively multiplayer online games have started to become really toxic. I mean, from day one players being treated like they should know the game as if they've been playing for years, to toxic fan bases who just have to jump on you if you don't stand the right character, just everything. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I definitely have. I'm getting a little tired of just running around the game, trying to have a good time, and then out of nowhere, I get a message telling me that I suck and I should, you know, go find another game. It gets worse. There's death threats sometimes. What the hell is that about? I mean, what happened to just being able to enjoy a game? Hmm? And it's a massively multiplayer online. These things are made for a community. And the community seems to not want to actually be a community. I don't get it. Why would you join a multiplayer game if you don't want to play with other people? If you're going to be that competitive and that hardcore about your game, just go play a solo game. This is the awkward silence phase because now I'm just waiting to see if anybody has anything to say in chat. While we're waiting on that, let's also have a bit of a reintroduction, shall we? For those of you who know me outside of YouTube, none of this should be new information. For those of you who are just joining us, and those of you who have only ever heard me on Pirates of the Geek Vortex, once again, hello, yes, my name is Caden. I do like to go by the Fox King, although really, I'm just a guy with a microphone who has been trying to break into YouTube since 2016 and constantly finds crippling self-doubt to be a bit of an enemy in that. The Bullfox's Den is, well, it was originally supposed to be a little project between me and friends, just we wanted to have fun. We wanted to make movie reviews and book reviews, but life got in the way. Sometimes it was just a matter of friends would say, hey, we want to help out, and then they'd immediately turn to me and say, but when do I get paid? That's not how this works. So The Bullfox's Den now is just going to be a little hangout. It's going to be me doing whatever happens to cross into my little brain. I'm going to try as much as I can to stream every Sunday, 12:30, whatever topic happens to hit. I have a list of a few that I need to go through anyways, and maybe if we're lucky, the pirates will join us on this channel for a while. We'll have some fun with the crew, Rasslin and Gamers Grotto and Olaf and all of them. And who knows, we might have our own crew form. We'll see. Early days. I'm just happy this stream is actually finally working, and hello to everybody who is watching. You know what? Whoever can, why don't we just say hello? Oh, also, if you check the link in the description, we do have a Discord. So if you would like to chat and you don't have a YouTube channel, I'm going to have to, honestly, I'm going to pop that into chat real quick. Because I realized that I forgot to put that in the description before I started streaming. Alright, there we go. And yes, that's from Caden, and this is Den of the Bullfox. Don't worry, I'm just running both channels at the same time so I can make sure that the stream's stable. So yes, there's our Discord link. If you would like to join the Discord so that you can chat without having to worry about creating your own YouTube channel, go ahead, hop in the Discord, say hello, and we can have a wonderful conversation between each other, hopefully. And I am... Honestly, I think this subject is running low, but then again, this could just be because I am nervous as shit. I promised myself that I would go back to my SLDJ days and have all of this wonderful self-confidence and charisma and be great. But then I realized that was probably only because I had 15 minutes of songs in between every time I had to talk. I'm not used to holding a conversation on my own and just talking onto a stream, so, you know, that'll be fun. It's a learning experience. But let's try to focus back on the topic. The MMOs and the toxicity growing. Oh hey, we do have people in chat. A chance of a recap of the last 5 big blow-ups of MMOs. Oh, well, I mean, that all depends on which game you're talking about. See, the indie game scene, as far as impacting the MMOs, the indie game scene is almost as bad because now the indie studios are starting to release their own MMOs. It's like the Wild West again. You don't have the teams that Bungie or Bethesda or any of the major studios have. So without a AAA team, moderation is few and far between. It's a bunch of guys, maybe interns, maybe the people who are developing it. You know, they're just sitting there at their desk and they can't be expected to moderate the entire community as it grows, which is fair. But as far as the big blow-ups, I mean, honestly, when it comes to the games I play, Warframe and Final Fantasy XIV have two of the better communities. Honestly, there's still some bitterness and toxicity in there. I mean, it's always one of those. If you're playing fantasy games, especially if you're playing RPGs in an MMO, and you happen to have classes like your tank, your healer, whatever, be it World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, whatever, there's always going to be some. You know what? We're going to be polite, so I'm not going to use the language I want to use, but there's always some guy on some end of the keyboard who's not happy with the performance of one player. I mean, maybe it's you just started a tank class today and you're getting used to it. Maybe you've been a DPS or a healer for, your entire career of playing the game. You wanted to take something new. So you become a tank class, you become a paladin or a knight or whatever, what have you. And then because you don't play the game to their style, maybe you're not used to pulling groups, maybe you're not used to being defense all of a sudden, you know, it's going to take you a bit to get the hang of things. But because you aren't playing the way they expect you to play, the moment that you're in their party, they're going to start giving you grief. They're going to start telling you how to play the class. They're going to start going on about how you suck and you shouldn't be that class. It's ridiculous. Especially in games where you can monitor another person's progress. Like, I keep going back to Final Fantasy. I've been binging it lately, so it's just fresh on my mind. But as far as Final Fantasy goes, you can look up a person's character and see what rank they are in every class. Now, if you're running a low level dungeon as a person who has all level 90 characters, you've maxed out. But then you get a tank who is level 15, level 20, what have you. Well, obviously that person's not used to being a tank. They're still leveling it. Especially if that's the only tank class. And then you tell them, oh, well, you shouldn't pull that hard, or you should pull more, or why don't you use this, or put on your stance. Well, they don't know. They're just as nervous as you were when you started out. Give them a break, man. Like, there's a big difference between offering advice and being nice, trying to mentor a new person, and just being a dick. And then, there's party dynamics. We gotta wonder about how people handle party dynamics because, especially in MMOs where you can just go into parties and you're completely random. Maybe you have your friends with you, maybe you don't, but if you just go in solo and you decide, hey, I want to run this dungeon or I want to run this scenario, you're getting thrown into a completely random group. You don't know any of these people. Well, now we have to wonder, are you the type of person who gets along and says hello, watches out for people? Are you that wonderful healer that everybody loves who wants to make sure that everybody's cool and says, hey guys, wait up because remember that if I can't heal you, your ass is going to die? Or are you that guy who just runs ahead and insists that he can do the entire dungeon himself, gets mobbed, goes down, and then blames everybody else? And see, it's that second type that seems to be growing more and more frequent. It is the guys who think that they know everything, they can handle the game, they want to play it at their pace, and they kind of forget no, this is a cooperative game. You have to learn your party, even if you never see these people again. These are random people, they have no idea what you can do, they have no idea what your style is. Don't just run ahead and then blame them when your dumbass gets murked. That's how it goes. It's a social aspect, really. I mean, it's not moving away from MMOs for a second. Any social game, we've started seeing this. I mean, from Second Life to IMView to VR chat. Yes, Second Life and IMView still exist. Don't ask me how or why. They do. But these are social games. They're social platforms. It's supposed to be a chat client. The whole point is to meet new people, hang out, and talk to them. And then people act like, no, that's not a part of the game. I just want to sit here and I want to scream at everyone and I want to tell everybody how stupid they are, or I'm just gonna never respond to anybody, and then I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna complain that nobody ever talks to me. I'm gonna complain that the game is boring because I never do anything with anyone, or there's never a game or an event that I can enjoy. Well, that's because you're isolating yourself. If I mean, I know people who would come and talk to me on voice while we're on Second Life or something, and they'd complain about how there's nobody to talk to or anymore. Like there's nobody who they want to hang out with, and they kept saying that nobody ever messages me, and then I would hear that message notification go off 6 or 7 times while we're talking. I'm like, well, are those groups or something? Oh, no, 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 these are just the random people around the bar that keep talking to me, but they're annoying, I don't want to talk to them. Well, how are you going to sit there and say that you don't have anyone to talk to, and that you can't meet new friends if every time someone says hello or messages you just ignore them? I mean, sure, they might seem annoying, they might seem a little awkward at first, but hey, you never know. Maybe they're just weird with intros. Like, I'm terrible at small talk. I can't keep up a small talk conversation for the life of me. That's why I like being in groups, because I can just feed off people, I can bounce off ideas, I can keep one going. But if I'm forced to introduce myself and make small talk, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'll go from talking about, oh hey, that's a nice outfit you have on, to, hey, have you seen the new Romanian circus clown that's in town? I mean, my friends seem to think that I'm fairly charming. They seem to think I'm entertaining, but you'd never know it from the first message I send you because I'm awkward as hell. I mean, look, hell. Even when I'm on Pirates or on, on these chats and everything, like, these are people I've known for years, maybe like decades. And even then, there's still days where I'm just awkward as shit. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Maybe I just want to sit in the corner for a while and have a drink. But how are you ever going to get to know me if you never talk to me and try to get me to open up, huh? How are you going to get to know anybody else if you never open up to them? Now, see, with the Person who prefers to watch rather than play, Shannon, see, that's completely fine. I don't mind that. There's some people that just like, hey, I'd rather watch you play the game. I'd rather make comments. I'd rather joke around with you. That's cool. But it goes back to, if you are gonna play the game, and it's a multiplayer game, there's gonna be other people. They're gonna be messaging you. Why are you gonna get angry about that? Like, there's situations in life where you don't have a choice but to be social. Like when you go into school, or you're going to work, or you go into a doctor's appointment, you have to be social in those situations. But when it comes to video games, and especially MMOs, that's a conscious choice. You have to choose to be in that situation. And a lot of them have settings for social. Maybe you can turn it off to where, you don't see local chat and nobody can message you unless you've already added them as a friend, things like that. And then if you leave all of that settings open to where everybody can message you, you can see general chat, anybody can invite you to groups or mini games or what have you, activities. I don't really see where you have the space to say that it's annoying, that that's not something you wanted. I have somehow managed to stretch this out to almost a half hour. That's amazing, especially since I am incredibly flustered because I scheduled this for 12:30 and I had everything set up. I was fine. I was in a great mindset. I was ready to stream and get all this done, and then I hit start streaming, and then it didn't. And so I stopped it, and then it started streaming on my phone, and I was like, ah, crap, it didn't. I screwed up. So I set up this new link, sent it out to everybody, and I hit stream again, and nothing. Told me the encoder was overloaded. Figured that out. So I have been sitting here since 12:30 until whenever we finally started. That was just me trying to figure out why it wasn't streaming. And I've been getting more and more frustrated until we finally got the stream. And now I'm just trying to calm back down, trying to get back into my groove. Right, you should realize what you're getting into when you start to play. I mean, it's like when a friend invites you to a party. If you don't really want to go, don't go. But if you go to the party and then you stand there in the center of the room all night, it's like, I don't want to be here. You all are morons. You suck. Your taste is trash. I don't like anybody here. Well, why? Why did you bother coming if that's what you're going to do? Like, pipe down. And let's not get started into peer pressure. I mean, isn't that something we learned about in school? Don't give in to peer pressure. And then the internet, modern games, especially MMOs, peer pressure is like the name of the game. It's bad enough when you have a social group of, maybe what, a dozen, maybe 2 dozen kids who are trying to get you to act a certain way, do a certain thing. And then we get onto the internet and into multiplayer games and online gaming, all of this. And suddenly that dozen to a couple dozen turns into hundreds, thousands, shit, maybe millions of people all telling you, hey, this is how you should play the game, this is how you should do things. Come on. I mean, that's maybe one thing I miss of the old, you know, one player games, like maybe like 1 to 4, Mario Kart, GoldenEye, things like that. It was just you and your friends. It was who you wanted to play with. And if things got heated, you told them to go home, or maybe someone threw your controller and broke it, and then they owed you like $20 because hey. But it used to be that you played a game the way you wanted to play it, and you can still do that to a point, but there's always going to be people who are calling you, a cheater if you get too good, or they're going to call you all this horrible shit if you don't play it the way they think that you should. Or maybe you're just not good at that type of game. Maybe you like playing Call of Duty, but you're not a guy who sits there and plays it for 20 hours a day. You're not a professional esports person. And then inevitably, you're going to get thrown into a lobby with at least 1 to 2 people who are that person. They are that guy. They are Captain COD. And they are going to get angry because you're not playing on a competitive level. Well, buddy, if I wanted to play on a competitive level, I'd be in a competition. I'm not. I am in my living room, maybe my bedroom. I've got my gym shorts on. I'm in sweatpants. I don't give 2 shits what you think. I came here to just play a game, relax, and chill out. I don't need your shit telling me that you don't like the way I play because I'm not one of the world champions of the game.
Well, buddy, if I wanted to play on a competitive level, I'd be in a competition. I'm not. I am in my living room, maybe my bedroom. I've got my gym shorts on. I'm in sweatpants. I don't give 2 shits what you think. I came here to just play a game, relax, and chill out. I don't need your shit telling me that you don't like the way I play because I'm not one of the world champions of the game.
Right, see, and there's nothing wrong with sticking to The Sims or things like that. Like, you know, I play mobile games all the time. And that's just because, hey, it's easier, it's relaxing. Like, I'll sit there and play Bejeweled for hours. And sometimes that's just because I don't feel like dealing with other people. And then when I do want to deal with other people, like I'll go into the multiplayer games,
Right, see,
and then
there's nothing wrong
it's a matter of okay, who do I want to deal with?
with things like that. Like,
That's why I like games like Warframe,
I like
where I can just go in, click that matchmaking, and say, hey, friends only. Even better, if I'm feeling particularly antisocial, I want to play a multiplayer, but I don't want just anybody random popping in, I'll click invite only. I like things like that because then I can run around, I can play the game, I can enjoy it with who I want, how I want. But if there's just an open world game and there's hundreds of people there
that's why I
and
like
each and every single one of them thinks they have the opinion, oh, well, your character looks like crap, or why do you play that class? That's stupid. You're dumb.
particularly antisocial. I want to play a
Man,
game,
focus on
but
your
I
own screen.
don't want just
Don't you
anybody
have your own crap to figure out?
clicking invite. I like things like that because then I can run around, I can play the game, I can enjoy it with who I want and how I want. But if there's just
All right, Shannon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. This subject's getting beaten into the ground, but thank you all for joining me. Thank you. for making this maiden stream a little less awkward and actually somewhat successful. We will be back next week. I will find a topic off my list. Potentially, I think I'm going to talk about whatever happened to the YouTube dark sides, because that's something I liked. But yes, thank you all. Thank you all for joining me in the den. If you liked it, please send or leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you want to come back next week. Join the Discord if you like, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye.